So I graduated college with a degree in biology and philosophy. Yet within 18 months, I'm flying T-34s at Naval Air Station Corpus Christi. How does a guy with no engineering background, no family history of anyone ever being a pilot, I wasn't even interested in flying jets till I was 21 years old. How does this guy go all of a sudden into a path where he's 23 and I'm in a room and we're talking about, oh, are you going to want to go Harrier jets? F-18s, maybe get the CH-46 Super Frog. You find that you're in this room with guys that are experts at what they do, and they became that expert in a very short amount of time. How does that happen? Guys, there are systems for becoming an expert very quickly. And in today's video, I've got 10 tips on how you can become an expert super fast. Tip number one, have a can-do attitude. And this is summed up by that old saying, if you believe you can do something or you believe you can't, you're probably right. Gentlemen, it starts right here. If you want to achieve big goals, you want to go out there and do something great, you want to become an expert, you've got to take steps in the right direction. You need to first believe that you can do it. Believe in yourself. Others all of a sudden will believe in you, will start to cheer you on, especially if you surround yourself with a community of people who want to lift each other up. Hard to find something like that? Well, seek out inspiration. Maybe watch videos, listen to audiobooks. Find something that basically lifts your soul up and just makes you feel great. You need, though, to believe in yourself. That's where it starts. Tip number two, gentlemen, be inspired by the self-taught experts that are out there in plain view. Where are they? At the top of industries. When you look at the guys at the top of an industry, oftentimes it's a self-taught expert. Mark Zuckerberg, college dropout over at Facebook. You've got Elon Musk. Does he have a PhD in engineering or rocket science? No, but he's running SpaceX, he's running Tesla, he's making a huge difference. And you can argue, okay, these guys, they've got a lot of money. Well, before they had money, they became experts in understanding a very narrow field and owning it. So when Elon Musk started PayPal, yeah, maybe he had a little bit of money back behind it, but not a whole lot. He didn't have a degree in banking. He went out there, and this should inspire you guys to go out there and become a self-taught expert. Tip number three, the right information at the right time. So my academic friends are going to get a little bit upset, but I don't think you should just learn for learning's sake. Instead, focus on the information that's going to give you a high return on investment, that 20% that's going to yield you the 80%, the whole Pareto principle. And I have found that true when learning things. There are some concepts that are key to your fundamental understanding, other ones which are just nice to have, but honestly, you could get through and you could figure it out and you don't need to know that stuff. So make sure that you're focused on the right information and at the right time, especially if you're in the tech field. Think about if you're learning all about tech stuff 2 to 3 years before you think you'll ever need it. Well, guess what? It's outdated. So make sure that you're getting information exactly when you need it. Speaking of the right information at the right time, gentlemen, I want you to go check out Skillshare. Skillshare is the paid sponsor of today's video, and I love this online platform because you can go in there and become an expert fast. Now, 3 things I think separate Skillshare from a lot of the other companies I've seen out there. Number one is variety. We're talking 17,000 classes, gentlemen. That's a lot of classes. And they've got classes on anything you can think of. We're talking photography. You want to get into marketing. You want to get into design. You want to go take a class on basically becoming a butcher. They've got that course in there. I know I went through this one and I enjoyed it. Number 2 is the quality of the teachers. We're talking if you want to study SEO, you've got Rand Fishkin in there. If you want to study presentations, you've got Simon Sinek. These are the guys at the top of their industry putting together these courses that you can go through and start to learn. Third, let's talk about price. Less than $10 a month. But write down in the description, gentlemen, I've got a link for you. The first 500 of you that sign up, you get 2 months absolutely free. So go check it out. I'm going to link to them down in the description. They're a good company. And guys, here's some other course ideas which I think you'll like. So course idea number 1 for you, how about build a passive income dividend portfolio in 12 easy steps? How about hand lettering essentials for beginners? You want something different? How about presentation essentials? How to share ideas that inspire action? And I know everybody can use this one. How about email productivity? Work smarter with your inbox. Gentlemen, those are just a few I checked out. Like I said, they've got 17,000 in the link down in the description. 2 months free for the first 500 of you that sign up. So go check it out. Great company. Tip number 4, develop your passion. Notice I didn't say find your passion. So you'll hear that advice, go find your passion. Guys, that is a bunch of BS. What you need to do is go down a path that, yes, you've thought through and maybe is initially hard, but you become passionate about things that you practice, that you become good at. In my own home, I've noticed my daughters, when they start off with ice skating, it can get really hard. They love the look of it. They love how beautiful it is. But when it comes down to the work, you can bet it's difficult getting them on ice. Sometimes they just don't want to be out there. They'd rather be out playing. But after a few months, all of a sudden, and when they're in and around friends that don't know how to ice skate and they're able to give them lessons, all of a sudden they develop this passion. It's like, wow, I feel amazing. I am just so happy that I've got this skill. That's how you develop a passion, gentlemen, is you go out there and you take action. Tip number 5, you've got to balance knowledge and action. You can't just read about something. You can't just play games and think that you're an expert. How many times have you met a guy that just plays a lot of Call of Duty, thinks he's a military expert? We kind of laugh at that, but I know a lot of military guys that go into a paintball field or go play airsoft, and guess what? They think they're an expert there. No, the same tactics do not apply. They're very different things, and you've got to read, you've got to learn, you've got to get better, and you've got to take action. If you're going to become an IT expert, if you're going to become an expert with photography, you can read about it all day, but you've got to take action. You've got to play with the lights, you've got to play with the camera, you've got to take action. So we've all heard the saying, practice makes perfect. Honestly, that's a bunch of BS. It's perfect practice makes perfect. And perfect practice is hard, gentlemen, because you got to think about it. Every action you take, you need to examine. You have to, it's uncomfortable. You're going through, especially if you've been doing something wrong. Any athlete out there that's having to relearn technique can tell you that perfect practice is one of the most difficult things. I know I'm personally going through and I'm relearning how to squat. My coach, Matt, who works with a guy named Mark Ripto, is reteaching me how to squat. How to deadlift, how to actually bench press. I thought I was doing this stuff right for about 25 years, on and off, whenever I would go in and exercise. And they're like, no, we are going to train to get you better. And guys, you want to be training. You want to be focused in on perfect practice. Tip number 7, to become an expert fast, take that fancy degree, that degree that most people just seem to worship, and throw it out the window, whether you have it or whether you don't. So if you have a fancy degree, understand that that doesn't guarantee anyone any success. You know that you've got that degree now, but you have so much to learn. And if you don't have that degree, don't feel that you have to go out and get it. Now, I know if you're going to become a doctor, you're going to become an engineer, you're going to become a lawyer, yes, a degree matters. But for many of us, that certification, that degree, that may take us 2 to 3 years, we're already 40-something years old. I've already got 3 kids. Do I really want to go back to school for this, or can I pick it up on the side, have a curriculum I develop myself, and become an expert that way? I think that most people can. So talking about getting bad advice, you're going to have people give you unsolicited advice. Every single week, I get someone wanting to tell me how I should be running my business. And the question I ask is, who is this person to give me this advice? Sometimes actually it's a very qualified person giving me this advice, that they've ran multiple companies, they've had their success, and I take it and I listen, but I still have to make my own choice. But the vast majority of the time, it's actually very bad advice from someone that doesn't have an idea of what I'm doing. They don't see the big picture. They have never had success. You have to be able to ignore bad advice. Now, how to do that goes to point number 9. Find and hire a mentor. And I stress hire, because you want someone that is going to take this seriously. And it doesn't have to be for a lot of money, or it doesn't even have to be for money, but it should be for something so that they have a vested interest in your success. You want to find someone who has, in a sense, walked your path and is 20, 30, maybe even is the same age as you, but is just simply a little bit ahead when it comes to business. Because in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. They can help you make a leap which you wouldn't have been able to. It would have taken you years to figure out yourself. So this next tip on becoming an expert, I think, is really powerful, and very few people ever use it. And that is to create content, to put out information in your field that you're trying to become an expert in. I did this myself. I put out articles. I wrote the articles. I would go through, read 4 or 5 books, and then simply reword things and put it into my own words, how it applied to situations as I saw it. But this is one simple way. If you say, okay, I'm just starting off, Antonio, I have nothing that I can give. I haven't even read a book yet. Well, how about you do some interviews? You talk with experts, and you're simply the facilitator. You put that podcast online, you put that video online, but by creating content, by putting that information out there, by having to teach or by being taught in a simple interview and sharing that information, guys, you'll find that's a very powerful tool for becoming an expert fast. All right, gentlemen, now it's your turn. Let me know down in the comments. What did I miss? What would you have added to this video? What did you like? And go check out Skillshare. I'm going to link to them down in the description. Remember, that link I'm putting down there are 500 spots to get 2 months for free, 17,000 courses, amazing teachers. Guys, I have to admit, I've taken some of these courses and I just love it because I never knew this much about. So when I go in and I talk to my butcher, I'm now able to talk about the different types of meats, different cuts. And I mean, this was information I didn't know just a few months ago. Now I feel pretty good about it. Guys, you can become an expert. You simply have to believe and put in the work. So guys, go out there, make it happen. Take care. See you in the next video.